This is the podcast of the hour. Too sweet to be sour. What you see is what you get. What you don't is better yet. South Africa's pig, it's make cheese regret. And if you haven't subscribed, you've made a bet now. Like and subscribe and get ready to get into a deep dive into the podcast vibe. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. So, today we'll be talking about Francis Ngannou, the death of AKA, economic apartheid in South Africa, Cape Independence, 5 of the worst decisions by rappers and 5 of the worst decisions by female rappers. So, this is Francis Ngannou. He's the hardest. He has the hardest punch ever recorded in history, in human history. That's some crazy shit right there. So this guy was born in Cameroon. That's where he was born in Cameroon, and from a very young age, grew up in sand mines. Like he was working in sand mines from 9 years old. So he was doing like hard labor every day, all day, every day, from when he was 9 years old. So that's where he developed his strength, I guess, and also African genes. You know that, of course. So from a very young age, bro, this guy was like, he was very poor, but he knew that he didn't want to, like, he knew that his life is not going to end up there. So what was on his mind was like, but the thing is, like, like when you have a vision, you see yourself up there, but then because like the situation around him, because you grow up around like poor people, no one thinks anyone's gonna get far, no one thinks anyone's gonna get anywhere. So but he was stubborn in his ways. So when he was 22 years old, he decided to leave his village in Cameroon and then go to the city. That's where he pursued boxing, and he then realized that with the facilities they had in Cameroon, he was not gonna get far. So when he was 26, he decided to leave Cameroon and just walk, bruv. This guy just decided to like leave and just find a better place. So what he did was he left Cameroon, went to Nigeria, and then traveled up to Morocco, Algeria, Morocco. Went through like the hardest hardships, through some of the Sahara Desert, and like, it's crazy stuff, man. So like, it was like hardships, and then he did illegally migrate into Spain. Yeah, that's where he went to Spain, because Morocco is nearby Spain. So he tried to get into Spain, and like 6 of the times that he attempted to get into Spain, he was caught and like returned back to the desert to die there, bruv. But this guy was stubborn. He just decided to like pursue his dream. So he went in the 7th time and then he made it. So he went from Spain into France. From France, he got an opportunity in mixed martial arts. That's why he developed his fighting, and then that's where he was pursued on by the UFC. And in the UFC, went on to do great things. Became the hardest hitting man ever in life, ever recorded in the Guinness Book. So he became the heavyweight champion then, and then he left the sport just cause he had complications with the company, and that's where he went into boxing. And no one thought he was going to do anything. He wanted to box, but no one thought he was doing anything. So he boxed with the heavyweight champion Tyson Fury, and like in that match, he showed himself, like, he showed everyone that he had something that nobody thought he had. And then on the 8th of March, he's gonna be fighting Anthony Joshua in a boxing match, 10 rounds. That's gonna be an interesting one. I look forward to it, and I look forward to him like making history, man. Yeah, that's my guy right there. yeah, it's some of the greatest things to ever happen. And I like the guy. He's African, man. I love my African people. You know me. So, what's happening out here in South Africa? AKA was gunned down 2023 in February in Durban, Florida Road, near a restaurant. He was having a dinner with his friends, and then that's where he was gunned down. They just decided to get rid of him. And it's crazy because like now they have 5 of the guys who are accomplices in his murder. 5 of the guys are already in trial, and 2 other guys are in Eswatini. That's where they got arrested, and they have to be extradited back into South Africa. That's the process where like you have a criminal who did a crime in this country but was found in another country. And if we have good relations with that country, we can go get those criminals back here to come and answer for their crimes. Yeah, that's how it works. So, man, I hope there's justice for AK. I hope there's justice, because like, man, he was one of my favorite rappers to ever come out of this country. One of my favorite rappers, hands down, and like he's one of the best rappers to like revolutionize hip-hop music in Africa, not just South Africa. He's one of the best, because like even us knowing Burna Boy, it was out of AKA. Like AKA introduced Burna Boy to South Africa. So I hope there's justice for him. I hope there's justice to find the guys who did what they did to him, and there's hell to pay, man. We can't be out here murdering people, man. What's wrong with you, man? Just out here, niggas are just living their best lives, and you just decided to shoot a nigga. Nigga was just coming out of a restaurant, having a good time. You just decide to shoot a nigga. What's wrong with you, man? Man, that's fucked up, man. I'm just living my life, and you decide to shoot me. No, man, do better. And these the guys that are studying they're even covering their faces. Like, they're stupid, man. They look dumb as fuck, man, standing in trial. Stupid. Just don't. If anyone doesn't know that, don't go around murdering niggas. It's against crime. It's against the Constitution of South Africa. Don't murder people. Don't do that. Everyone knows that, but apparently niggas are doing it. Like, this whole country is just, man, it's just weird. So everyone knows that, the worst trauma we've had in this country might be apartheid. Apartheid might be the worst trauma that's ever happened in this country. Apartheid. Some people think it still exists, but I have a different take on it. We have economic apartheid, and by that I mean, look, 20% of the wealth in this country is owned by black people, and 80% of the wealth in this country is owned by white people. So if you look at it like that, you'll be like, if it was a European place, if we had like 80% white people and like 20% black people, it makes sense. But we have 80% black people and like about 9% white people and about 9% colored people. So it doesn't correspond. And whenever you have those things in a nation, it causes some tension. And there's gonna be tension, of course, because like some people are living a better life. Like if you have like a small portion of people living their best life, and then a large portion of people living in like horrendous conditions, man, bruh, there's a lot of problems there. There's a lot of problems that can come out then. So why do I call it apartheid? Look, we can look at it like this. Do we have apartheid laws today? No, we don't have apartheid laws. We had apartheid laws just 30 years ago, right? Just 30 years ago, we had apartheid laws. And through those laws, the white people got to benefit, right? The white people got to benefit and black people didn't get shit, right? They didn't get like, but they were working. Like you can go through the list. I don't want to explain the history to you. You know the history. I can. If you don't, man, go back to school, man. Like go back to school. You know the history. So if it's like that now, like right after apartheid, white people own more, black people own less. So already we're starting on an unlevel playing field, right? If we're starting on it's like they say, do 100-meter sprint, right? And black people are at 0, white people are like at 80, right? How's that fair? It's not fair. But of course, life is not fair. But you can also look at it like this: the best facilities, the best education, for the best things, you need to have money. That's just the honest truth. For your kids to go to like the best schools, you need to have money. So the people with the most money get to have like the best services, right? So if they get to have the best services, you can check how the money was acquired. If you check how the money was acquired, you'll find out that the money was acquired back then, like during apartheid and during all those times, right? So it's that's why I call it economic apartheid in a way. So it's like we're treated differently because of the amount of money we have. But what's the solution to this kind of thing? The solution to this kind of thing would be like politics. Would say, okay, one way would be politics, but I can't put it there. That's like the worst one for me. I can't depend on another person. I can't depend on those niggas. And the other solution is just to depend on yourself, brother. Just try to make your life better. Just try to fight for yourself and the people who are gonna come after you. Try to fight for yourself and your family, the people that you care about. That's one of the ways that you can deal with this shit. Yeah. And so, when this country got its freedom in 1994, Nelson Mandela is still seen as the father of the nation. He's the father of the nation. And like his idea was the guy we said he was against white domination, and he was against black domination in this country. What the guy was for, the guy was practically for unity within this country, right? Everyone coming together, being one rainbow nation, being one nation. But you know what? This other thing, they call it Cape Independence. It's a party. These are other niggas. They come in with all this divisiveness.
So effectively, the people of the Western Cape never get their democratic will. They're always excluded from the system. They never get the government they vote for. And the consequences of that are quite significant, because if South Africa is being badly managed and run into the ground, the people of the Western Cape are then suffering the consequences of a government they didn't elect and one that they can't remove at the ballot box.
South Africa is made up of 9 provinces. 8 of them are governed by the African National Congress. The opposition party, the Democratic Alliance, has run the Western Cape since 1999. While the party's not supported the call for secession, it has pushed for a federal system. The Cape Independence Party says recent polls suggest 58% of Western Cape voters support the move for Cape independence. But that figure's been disputed. Those opposed to the idea...
This is divisive bullshit. Bruh. These niggas, they come in and say, basically they want Cape Town they want Western Cape to become its own country. They want anatomy, right? And that's just pure elitism, because we know that Western Cape is doing better than the whole of South Africa. And when you're in that situation, I get the frustration because we're living in the same country, we're living under the same conditions. But the solution can't be to divide. Man, we can't divide. All of us are okay, let's unite and try to find solutions for our lives and for the children that come after us. But when you go to the side, you're man, I'm out of here. And you're you want to take Western Cape with you. Nigga. Brother. Everyone knows the history. The Dutch came here in the 1652. Somewhere there, about 1652. And then, what happened? Was there no one there? No. They found the Khoikhoi and the Khoisan. You can ask yourself, why are the Khoikhoi and the Khoisan right now? Have you ever seen anyone that speaks Khoi and Khoisan? What happened to them? Those niggas, they got enslaved and they pillaged, they raped the women, and that's where the colors come from. So that's what they did, the black people of the Cape. And like, now it's like that whole culture of people, it's like done with, man. That's like mass genocide in a way. And then the British came in and they tried ending that slavery that was happening there. It's like complicated history. But let me just shorten this. Niggas, you ain't getting Western Cape. Western Cape is South African. Western Cape is South African. Western Cape is African. And we're not gonna let any white people come and devise us. No, it's not gonna happen, man. Nigga, not in this not in this day and age, man. Man, one of our ancestors, man, you're not gonna do that to us, man. Yeah, so if you wanna have your own place, brother, leave, man. All of Europe has like bunch of white people there. You're not getting the Cape. The Cape is ours. The Cape is African. So let's talk about the worst decisions ever made by rappers. So these are the 5 worst decisions ever made by rappers. Number 5, Tupac. So Tupac was gunned down in Las Vegas. And I'd say this was the worst decision. The worst decision by him was ever getting in a beef with the East Coast. Why, like, getting into a beef with the East Coast was the worst decision Tupac ever made, because it's the decision that ended up with him getting gunned down, and now we lost one of the best rappers to ever exist, just because of the decision to get into a beef with the rappers in the East Coast. That's what I'm saying. So number 4, Lil Nas X. Lil Nas X is just one of the worst. Bruh, the guy can't even rap. Man, I saw the video of this nigga the other day. He was just dancing naked in the TV. On TV. It was noon. On TV, man, and we can, like, kids can watch that. We saw this on TV. This nigga was dancing naked. And I forgot the name of the song. Man, do better, Lil Nas X. That's one of the worst decisions ever made by a rapper. Number 3, Machine Gun Kelly. Machine Gun Kelly's worst decision was getting into a beef with Eminem. How can you get into a beef with one of the best rappers to ever live, man? That's Eminem, man. Machine, what are you doing, man? Respect your elders. Respect the ones that came before you, man. You can't be going on disrespecting the ones that came in before you. No, don't do that. Number 2, Eminem. The worst decision made by Eminem was having beef with his mom. Bruv, don't have beef with your mom, man. She brought you into this planet. I understand, man, there were like complications. Then your mom was maybe a bad human being or something, made terrible decisions. But man, don't have beef with your mom, man. That's like the worst thing you can ever do to yourself and to everyone, man. Don't have beef with your mom. That's the worst decision made by Eminem. Number 5, Biggie Smalls. The worst decision ever made by Biggie Smalls was getting into a beef with the East Coast, because that's where he got gunned down. The man got gunned down, and it was one of the worst decisions by him, getting into a beef with the West Coast, because we know, like, California niggas there, they're gonna kill you. They're gonna murder you. And that's how we got deprived of one of the best rappers ever. In my opinion, the best rapper ever. Yeah, I'll say Biggie is the best rapper ever, because he's one of them. Like, his flow is impeccable. So the next one is worst decisions ever made by female rappers. So this one, number 5, Lizzo. The worst decision is just being obese. She's just a slob, man. Why are you that big? Try to lose weight. Like, get on a weight losing regime or something. Get into like a diet. Do something, man. Like, you're gonna die. Have diabetes and like heart disease and shit. Try losing weight. Number 4, Cardi B. Cardi B's worst decision was getting plastic surgery, man. How can you get a knife? Like, how can you let another person put a knife under you just to sculpt you and decapitate you and try to make you look good, man, according to some standards, man? Don't cut yourself up, man. Don't cut yourself up like that. No, don't do that to yourself, man. Number 3, Megan Thee Stallion. Megan Thee Stallion's worst decisions was just her peak of men. She has terrible taste. She was shot in the foot by her boyfriend. That's how stupid are you to pick up? You see these signs when you get into a relationship, man. See these signs. Number 4, Dua Lipa. The worst decisions by Dua Lipa is getting into movies because she sucks at it. She's a bad actor. She's a terrible actor. I've seen some of the acting. It's just some of the most horrendous things I've ever seen. One of the most horrendous things ever. So, number 5. Number 1 now. Position 1 is taken by Iggy Azalea. Of course, she's progressing the degradation of our culture. She turned into OnlyFans, man. Man, how can you turn into OnlyFans, man? Out of all these things, you decide to show your stuff on the internet for money. You're basically a prostitute. So when you're the best podcast in the world, they don't call you the greatest podcast. They call you the podcast vibe. Subscribe. Have a great night.